Shabbat Shalom, Lord.
Shabbat Shalom.
We'll be reading from James chapter 1 through 7. Yaakov, the servant of Yahweh, and of Adonai Yahshua, HaMashiach, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greeting. My brethren, count it all joy when ye fall into diverse temptation, knowing this, that the trying of your belief works patience. But let patience have your perfect work, that ye may be perfect and entire, wanting nothing. If any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of Yah, that gives to all men liberty, and upbraids not, and it shall be given him. But let him ask and believe, nothing wavering. For he that wavers is like a wave of the sea, driven with the wind and tossed. For let not that man think that he shall receive anything of Yahweh. Yaakov is talking to the children of Israel who are scattered abroad, telling them, have great pleasure when you fall into different temptation. The endurance of your peace is through patience, suffering tolerance without getting angry. With patience, you will behold one another. If you lack experience and good judgment, ask of Yah who gives in large amounts. And find fault not, and God will give it. Let him ask in faith, nothing undecided for a person. That is undecided is lost and all over the place. That man shall not receive anything from Yahuwah. So have faith in Yahuwah, and you shall receive what you seek. Amen.
Worship you, oh my being,
Shalom, Israel. Shalom. Psalms 9 says, I will praise thee, O Lord, with my whole heart, and I will show forth all show forth all thy wonderful, marvelous, works. I will be glad and rejoice in thee. I will sing praise to thy name, O thou Most High. How many of y'all know that we have to give the Most High praise? We have to give the Most High praise. All the praise. Right? Praise and glory was waking up in the morning. I mean, the sun coming up, the moon showing up at the right time. You know, the season being in order, having food and raiment. We have to always give the Most High praise and glory for the things that He's done in our lives. Letting Him know that we don't take anything granted that He does for us, because we have definitely sinned beyond our punishment. Brother Kevin is going to read a psalm. I think it'll be Psalms 149.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Psalm 149, and this is something that's personally, just as I continue to read, is just being really pressed upon me, is the importance of praise. It's certainly important for us to have knowledge and understanding, and that comes from the Most High.
Yes.
But it's also important for us to give it back to Him, give that praise back to Him, because this is a spiritual walk. His word, His love, it's all spiritual. So even to understand it, it's all spiritual. It's on so many different levels. But He desires our praise, and we need to desire to give it to Him as well. Psalm 149, hallelujah. Sing unto Yahuwah a new song, and His praise in the assembly of the Yahweh. Let Israel rejoice in Him that made him. Let the children of Zion be joyful in their King. Let them praise His name in the dance. Let them sing praises unto Him with the timbrel and harp. For Yahuwah takes pleasure in His people.
Yeah.
He will beautify the meek with salvation. Let the Shaked be joyful in glory. Let them sing aloud upon their beds. And this is a great one. Let the high praises of El be in their mouth, and a two-edged sword in their hand. Praise is like a two-edged sword in our hand. It's powerful.
Yeah.
To execute vengeance upon the heathen and punishments upon the people. To bind their kings with chains and their nobles with fetters of iron. To execute upon them the judgment written. This honor have all His Shahid. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. All right. Okay, so we do want to keep in mind we must give our Redeemer praise. He desires praise from us. We desire things from Him on a constant basis. What is a little praise based on the things that He does in our lives on a daily basis? Our children, our grandchildren, our parents. So we should be glad about giving Him praise. Just glad. Everything with breath should praise the Most High. So we just want to make sure that we want to continue to give praise when we can as a unit, but we also should give praise individually every opportunity we get. We're going to go ahead. We're going to get back into Judges. Today we going to start with the last 4. We're going to complete the last 4 judges. We have 3 peacetime judges that we're going to deal with to give them acknowledgement of covering the 12 judges. The first one, Brother Darren, is going to be, is it spelled Ism? That's going to be Judges 12 and 8. Judges 12 and 8. Absalom? No.
Yeah, go ahead and read 8 through, go ahead and read 8 through on down. We're going to go all the way through 15.
Judges chapter 12, verse 8. And after him, Ibzan of Bethlehem judged Israel. And he had 30 sons and 30 daughters, whom he sent abroad, and took in 30 daughters from abroad for his sons. And he judged Israel 7 years. Then died Ibzan, and was buried at Bethlehem. And after him, Elon, a Zebulunite, judged Israel, and he judged Israel 10 years. And Elon, the Zebulunite, died, and was buried in Aijalon, in the country of Zebulun. And after him, Abdon, the son of Hillel, a Perithonite, judged Israel. And he had 40 sons and 30 nephews.
40 sons and 30 nephews.
That rode on 70 and 10 asphalt, and he judged Israel 8 years. And Abdon, the son of Hillel, the Perithonite, died and was buried in Pirathon, in the land of Ephraim, in the mount of the Amalekites.
Yeah, but do we kind of see how, Israel back then, when the Most High had chosen someone to be a judge, how all the nephews, all the sons, and everybody drew together to keep that sense of judgment going, that they may complete the mission of the Most High. That's why it's important that we try to keep our sons and nephews and daughters and sisters. We try to keep everybody involved because it's not, a lot of times people look at it that we're doing an individual thing, but actually we're doing a collective thing. It's very collective when families come together as family and reach out to the Most High and try to complete the mission or the task that the Most High has placed before them. It's kind of hard, to pull in family members to do things sometimes. But I mean, just think if everybody that's here that has seeked out their family to come out and be a part of the lesson and part of the understanding and a part of keeping the Sabbath, and keeping it holy because of the Sabbath being a rest day unto the Most High. You all know how full this place would be. We had to put another wing on this thing somewhere. And we had to bump it out somewhere, go up or something, because everybody would be collectively involved and everybody be into it. So I like to give praises to, not praises, but I like to give a kudos, I don't know how you want to put this word in there, but acknowledgement, how about that, to how Abaddon's nephews and sons, they all came together, they all stuck together. And it was for one law, and I wouldn't say one law, but one covenant. Everything that was tied in within the Most High. Now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna get into Samson. Samson is the final judge that the Most High brought through. But we're gonna read a few things in here that's gonna be a little different from what you saw in the movies. It's not the same. It is nowhere near the same. Okay. So we praise the Most High that it's going to be different. And we can actually start off with a quick difference, but there's no need for it. We're just going to go ahead, we're going to go through down through here, we're going to see exactly how the Most High has set this thing up for us. Is everybody prepared? Judges 13:1. Everybody prepared? Everybody prepared? Brother Robert, if you'll start off with Judges 13:1.
All right, Judges 13:1, read.
And the children of Israel did evil again in the sight of Yahweh.
Have y'all noticed that every time we pulled up a new judge, that Israel did what? Evil in the sight of the Most High? Every time. That go back to that revolving state of mind that we have. It's almost like being over there in the continent of Africa, how the animals rotate during the seasons all the way around Africa. So they can keep warm and they can eat different foods and stuff. They can keep that one circulation going. You know what I mean? It's like I think they do a couple of revolution of revolving around Africa or something like that. But it's the same thing. That's what Israel is doing. They just revolving around between sin and obedience. They're just going in and out, in and out. But Brother Robert said in Judges 13:1, he said, and the children of Israel did evil again in the sight of our Elohim. And what?
And Yahweh delivered them into the hand of the Palestine 40 years. 40
years. They got to do 40 years. 40 years. Do you see that? I mean, it's like you do 40, then you come back out and say, okay. It's no different than someone going into prison and coming back out a few years and going right back in. You know, it's basically the same. And read the second verse, my brother.
And there was a certain man of Zorah, of the family of the Danites.
The family of the Danites, what that tell us? Huh? He's from the tribe of Dan. That ties him right into Israel, am I correct? All right, and what?
Whose name was Monach.
I think it is Monach, there's an H. Manoah.
Oh, Manoah. And his woman was barren and bore not.
Now, where we heard that before? Sarah. Sarah was barren, right? And once again, we know that Samson's father came from the tribe of Dan. And read for me, my brother.
And the angel of Yahweh appeared unto the woman, and said unto her, Behold now, you are barren, and bear not, but you shall conceive, and bear a son.
So you shall receive, and you shall conceive, and bear a son. Isn't it the same thing happened with Sarah? Same thing. Why didn't the angel go to the man? That's just a good question. I really don't have an answer for that. That's just a good question, right? Sometimes I can be a good question to ask an individual, right?
He did that with Miriam later on.
Yeah.
But he did with Abraham with Sarah.
Yeah, you see? But I guess you take it straight to the source. You didn't cut no corners, right? Where you at, Brother Robert?
Verse 4.
And read.
So now therefore beware, I pray you, and drink not wine nor strong drink, and eat not any unclean thing.
Now we see why he went straight to her. Right? Because of what? Because everything she consumed, he consumed. Right? Everything. Now just think about it now. Nowadays, you know, some women can have children, man, they be carrying kids, man, and they do whatever under the sun, and they feel like there's no judge in Israel. I mean, they just do whatever that comes their heart to do, you know. It don't matter. It don't matter what they do, you know what they want to do. They just do it. You know, they just do it. I mean, we ain't gonna go down the line on what they do, but they do a lot of stuff. They do a lot of stuff. They're not lining it up, you know, and realizing that everything they consume, that child consumed. Am I correct? Yeah. And Brother Rob, where you at?
I got one thing.
Well, we got Brother Kevin.
One thing real quick, I mean, we'll see the next one what Brother Robert's about to read, but this is basically beginning the Nazarite vow upon conception for Samson, even his mother, based on exactly what you're saying. Exactly. Because you're right.
Yes. And so what happened is that if she had consumed things that, or did things that a Nazarite shouldn't do, would that violate him being a Nazarite, Brother Kevin?
Would. Violates the vow.
So now we see. That's why he took it straight to the source. She's responsible. Because even if he went to the man can't control what the man put in that mouth. Can't control what she drinks. Right? Or eat. Okay, Brother Robert?
Verse 5. 4. Lo, you shall conceive and bear a son. And no razor shall come on his head.
Okay.
For the child shall be a Nazarene.
Nazarite.
I say, unweaned from the womb. And he shall begin to deliver Israel out of the hand of the Palestine.
Now, a lot is popping in my mind when you hear that. Wow. All you do is go to the mall, right? They got a black mall over there on Branch Avenue you can go to in Forestville. And you go in the mall, you see a lot of kids, a lot of little boys with a lot of long plaits on their head. They're not putting a razor on their head, they ain't putting no words on it. You see, they're not, they don't even know that what they basically, doing. But I don't guess the Most High went straight to them and told them anything, but they won't cut their hair, right? But they're not putting any word in them either. So you can see that, you can see, where a little that can basically kind of like generically tie into what we do as a culture of people in this hour, right? Okay. And we want to stop. Okay, where we at?
That just reminded me of yesterday in the news where they talked about the little boy in New Jersey. They cut his dreads before the rest of the night.
Yeah, that was crazy.
I thought that was one of the worst things, right? So the funny thing about it was that not funny. It wasn't funny. But when they did it, and they would cut the boy, and the boy turned around and had a look on his face. And in my mind, I don't know if we discussed it or not, I said, don't that look like Eric? This boy looked just like Eric. The boy looked just like Eric. So that made it a little bit more personal. What we then, right? It got real personal then, right? I said, they cut his hair, because they told the boy, if you don't cut your hair, you gotta forfeit your fight, right? But no other judge, heathen judge, had ever told that boy that before. But and then I heard on the news, I was going to pick, ironically, I was going to pick Eric up this morning, and it was talking about, they was talking on the news about how this guy has been cited for racial behavior before, and they sent him to some kind of class and they allowed him to come back. But he physically cut this boy's hair and demeaned him.
It was a woman.
Yeah.
Oh, the woman?
Yeah,
that was his coach. But it was a man who demanded that he cut his hair.
Right, the coach was a woman.
Right.
But the man that...
But the woman was cutting it, the coach told him.
Well, they gave the boy options. Because he could have said, no, I don't cut my hair.
Right.
And then he would have been...
Just forfeit the
he would forfeit the match.
Yeah, they said it was important or something. He needed that. I don't know.
But the boy humbled himself and did it anyway. Yeah. But you can look down the pipe, some more coming with that. There's going to be some more stuff happening. Okay. You can look down the pipe. It's coming. It's definitely coming. And where you at, Brother Robert?
I'm on verse 6.
And read it.
Then the woman came.
Wait a minute, back up a little bit. We missed something.
Okay.
Just for a minute.
Go back to verse 5.
And drop down after it said that he shall be a Nazarite unto Yah from the womb. That means from the womb coming out, right? So this is another thing. We had judges, all the prior judges we went through. None of those were judges from the womb. Did y'all notice that? They just became judges. He just asserted, inserted that they would be a judge. They became judges. But none of them was judges from the womb, meaning that their parents could have violated the Nazareth vow, right? Yes, ma'am.
Nephi's mother was a harlot. The judge we did last week.
Yeah. Yeah, but she was. Yeah, Jephthah.
Gideon, they didn't know the law at all when he became a judge.
Right. You see. So, but Samson, this is gonna be a turn of events here. It's gonna be a little funny. But it also says that, and he shall begin.
And he shall begin to deliver Israel out of the hand of the Palestine.
What does that mean? All the other judges was to deliver Israel from whomever they was in oppression with, wasn't they? All of them delivered, didn't they? They went in, they kicked butt, killed, whatever they had to do. They did whatever they had to do, and at the end of the day, when it was all done, Israel was free. All right? But it says that Samson will begin to deliver Israel from the hand of the Philistines. That means he didn't deliver them. He began to. Right? And gotcha. Thank you, my brother. There's a lot of brothers here, y'all. Brother Reggie, can you start off at 6? Thank you, Brother Robert.
Verse 6.
Then the woman came and told her husband, saying, a man of Yah came unto me, and his countenance was like the countenance of an angel of Yah, very terrible. But I asked him not to whence he was, neither heed me his name.
So when she said very terrible, does that mean he was stern? Read. Think about that.
But he said unto me, behold, thou shalt conceive and bear a son, and now drink no wine, no strong drink, neither eat any unclean thing. For the child shall be a Nazarite to Yahweh from the womb to the day of his death. Then Manoah entreated the Elohim and said, oh, my Elohim, let the man of Yah, which thou didst send, come again unto us, and teach us what we shall do unto the child that shall be born. And Yah hearkened to the voice of Manoah, and the angel of Yah came again unto the woman as she sat in the field. But Manoah, her husband, was not with her. And the woman made haste and ran and showed her husband and said unto him, behold, the man hath appeared unto me that came unto me the other day. And Manoah arose and went after his wife and came to the man and said unto him, art thou the man that spaketh unto the woman? And he says, I am. And Manoah said, now let thy words come to pass. How shall we order the child? And how shall we do unto him?
I think that's a pretty good question. Because you don't want to get out. I mean, it was such a tall order. And then you realizing that, well, now, wait a minute though. Let's keep going before I say this. Read again. Where you at?
Read, I'm on 13. You want me to go back to 12?
No, read 13.
And the angel of the Elohim said unto Manoah, of all that I said unto the woman, let her beware.
Let her beware. Let her obey what he has said. Let her be conscious of what she is doing. Read.
She may not eat of anything that cometh of the vine, neither let her drink wine or strong drink, nor eat any unclean thing. All that I commanded her, let her observe. And Manoah said unto the angel of the Elohim, I pray thee, let us detain thee until we shall have made ready a kid for thee.
So I'm pretty sure they wanted to detain him so that he could give them or show them how they're supposed to do things prior to that. But then he said, until we shall have made ready a kid for thee. Right? And then 18 verse says what? And 16 verse says what?
And the angel of the Elohim said unto Manoah, though thou detain me, I will not eat of any of thy bread. And if thou wilt offer a burnt offering, thou must offer it unto the Elohim. For Manoah knew not that he was an angel of the Elohim.
See that? So the Most High sent an angel down in flesh form. You see that? To a point where Manoah didn't even know that this guy was an angel. Right? He didn't even know he was an angel. But that tells us something really, it tells us something. That's really ironic. Because you go back into the Bible, go back into the King James Version, even 16:11 now. Give me, Brother Kevin, give me Hebrews 13:1 and 2. Stay where you are, Brother Reggie. Yes. Brother Dan, be ready for Judges to take up at 19 behind Reggie, okay?
Hebrews 13:1 and 2.
Listen real good.
Let brotherly love continue. Be not forgetful to entertain strangers.
It said, let brotherly love continue, and be not forgetful to entertain strangers. Why?
For thereby some have entertained angels unawares.
That's how I am. The Most High can do anything He wants to do. Anything He desires to do, He can do it. That's an extreme example of Him showing that He can take an angel and put it in human flesh and send it down, and that angel can approach. That angel can approach a man, a woman, whatever. They can do whatever He wanted to do. So it said, be kind go back, it says, be not forgetful to entertain strangers.
Which is also a commandment. That's a commandment. There's a commandment for basically hospitality amongst the brothers.
Yes, that's true, right there. But it said, for thereby some have entertained angels, unawareing. And Manoah unawarely was dealing with this angel and didn't even know it. Brother Reggie, go ahead with 17.
And Manoah said unto the angel of the Elohim, what is thy name? That when thy saying come to pass, we may do thee honor.
You see, he trying to get the angel honor. Read.
And the angel of the Elohim said unto him, why askest thou thus after my name?
But you see this? He didn't give his name. He asked him, why are you asking for my name? But the man already said he's going to do glory. So he give him glory, right? But the messenger needed no glory. He didn't need any glory. He didn't want any glory. Right? Because the messenger was straight from our Elohim. What was he going to benefit from glory from man? He don't want that. That's why we shouldn't seek man's glory today. Right? Because if you depend on man's glory, what happens when that man decides he don't want to give you any? Are you going to be sad in countenance? Right. Right? Your day ain't right? Is that going to happen? Wow. So he said, why askest thou thus my name, sin? Did we read the part, sin is a secret?
No. Seeing it is secret. Seeing it is secret.
You see that? So that's just a funny thing. Brother Aaron, 19.
So Manoah took a kid with a meat offering and offered it upon a rock unto the Most High. And the angel did wondrously, and Manoah and his wife looked up.
Now, Manoah still don't know. He still don't know that this is an angel he's dealing with. And he went on to put that meat on there, didn't he? And did an offering. But he did that to the Most High, but he still don't know that this is an angel. Read.
For it came to pass.
For it came to pass.
When the flame went up toward heaven from off the altar.
When the flame went up toward heaven from off the altar. Don't it remind you of the altar of incense? Right? That what?
That the angel of the Most High ascended in the flame of the altar.
Read.
And Manoah and his wife looked on it and fell on their faces to the ground.
But you know what? That's the same. It's the same concept of the tabernacle. It's the same concept of the what you call it? The offering of incense. It's the same one. It's the same in one and the same. Now, most I don't change things too much. It's going to tie right back in. Everything got to tie back in. From what he did in the old, he's going to tie it back in the new. And anywhere in between. Where you at, bro?
21.
Read.
But the angel of the Most High did no more appear to Manoah and to his wife. Then Manoah knew that he was an angel of the Most High. And Manoah said unto his wife, we shall surely die.
We shall surely die.
Because we have seen Elohim.
He thought he saw God. He thought he had seen our Elohim. He thought he had seen the Most High. Because it said no man can even appear in his eyesight without death. Moses he told Moses, he said, when I pass, he said, if you look at me, you're going to die. He said, when I pass by, you can like look at the side of your eye and try to catch me as I pass by you. But you can't look at me. And evidently, Manoah knew this. He was from the tribe of Dan. He heard the stories. Read.
But his wife said unto him, if the Most High were pleased to kill us, he would not have received a burnt offering and a meat offering at our hands.
Read.
Neither would he have showed us all these things, nor would at this time have told us such things as these.
And it's always good to have you help me. Read.
And the woman bare a son.
And the woman did bear that son that the angel told him that she was going to conceive. What?
And called his name Samson.
And what?
And the child grew.
And the child grew.
And the Most High blessed him.
The Most High blessed his son. Read.
And the Spirit of the Most High began to move him at times in the camp of Dan between Zorah and Eshtaol.
But the Most High said, but it said in the Spirit. That means what? The Ruach would move him about the camp. Judges 14 and 1, Brother Kevin.
And Samson went down to Timnah and saw a woman in Timnah of the daughters of the Philistines.
You saw what?
And he came up and told his father and his mother and said, I have seen a woman in Timnah of the daughters of the Philistines. Now, therefore, get her for me to be my wife.
So now let's look at this for a second before we go on. We know that the text is going to straighten this out for us, right? But over the years, when Samson, when you first think of Samson, one of the first things we think is just lustful desire for women, right? That's one of the first things y'all notice that? And it's just a story that's what they portrayed him in the movie. So, before we really start reading for ourselves, we really thought that he got to have a love for everything. We thought he wanted to right there. But let's look down this thing a little bit further. Where you at, Brother Captain?
I got 3.
Judges 14 and 3.
Then his father and his mother said unto him, is there never a woman among the daughters of your brethren or among all my people that you go to a woman of the uncircumcised Philistines?
They couldn't get it. They didn't understand it because there was something in place. Read.
And Samson said unto his father, get her for me, for she pleases me well.
See, they didn't understand that. Give me Ezra, Brother Reggie. Give me Ezra 9 and 8. Ezra 9 and 8. And I want you to read on down through 11. No, you better go on down to 13. But they didn't understand something because something amongst Israel that Israel was supposed to do. It was like knowing the laws of the covenant. Israel knew it, Israel knew he was right directly from Dan, so they knew. Are you ready, Brother Reggie? No. Not yet? Okay. Israel knew. Israel 9, 8 through 13.
Okay. Ready. Ezra chapter 9, verse 8.
I read.
And now for a little space, grace hath been shown from the Lord our Elohim to leave us a remnant to escape.
And you see that? So through grace, the Most High has showed us, this grace that a remnant of us, for a remnant of us to escape. But there's a reason why he's talking about this remnant. Read.
And to give us a nail in his holy place.
A nail in his holy place, that means being a part of, being secured part. It's like a nail in one of these walls. It makes up this building. So it means that they do a meaningful role of keeping what? His holy place. Read.
That our Elohim may lighten our eyes and give us a little reviving in our own bondage.
Okay, read.
For we were bondmen.
For we were bondmen.
Yet our Elohim hath not forsaken us in our bondage.
Still happen today. Still happen today. If you look at how the Most High deal with things in the past, that's how he deal with them today. Continue to read.
But hath extended mercy unto us in the sight of the kings of Persia.
This was during the time of the oppression of Persia. Read.
To give us a reviving, to set up the house of our Elohim, and to repair the desolations thereof, and to give us a wall in Judah and in Jerusalem.
Read, my brother.
And now, O our Elohim, what shall we say after this?
What shall we say after this?
For we have forsaken thy commandments.
You see that? We know we did wrong. When we know we did wrong, what can you actually say? Our forefathers did wrong. Let them just say, hey, we was wrong, and keep it moving. And try to line back up. But give us that 11th verse.
Which thou hast commanded by the servants, the prophets, saying, the land unto which ye go to possess it is an unclean land, with the filthiness of the people of the land.
With what?
With the filthiness of the people of the land.
So you mean to tell me that even when they put us on that, and they did that slavery exile, and they put us all on these boats, and some of our people showed up here in America, that when they showed up here in America that there was an unclean land? It wasn't holy. It wasn't of the Most High. They weren't keeping no laws. They weren't keeping no commandments. They was eating unclean food. It was filthy. And it was an unclean. It was unclean land with what? The filthiness of the people of the land, and what?
With their abominations, which have filled it from one end to another with their uncleanliness.
You see that?
Uncleanness.
That's still going on today. It's still there. But unfortunately, Israel has crossed over. Read.
Now, therefore, give not your daughters unto their sons, neither take their daughters unto your sons, nor seek their peace of their wealth forever. That ye may be strong.
That ye may be strong. Read.
And eat the good of the land, and leave it for an inheritance to your children forever.
Read.
And after all that has come upon us for our evil deeds, and for our great trespass, seeing that thou, our Elohim, hast punished us less than our iniquities deserve.
You see that? We have been punished less than what our iniquities deserve. But read.
And hath given us such deliverance as this.
We're going to stop right there. Now, y'all see why Manoah and his wife was asking Samson, right? Thank you, my brother. Samson, you know, did you just see a woman amongst our people that you wanted? You just see amongst where is that? A woman amongst a daughter of our brethren, among all the people, that thou goest to take a wife of the uncircumcised Philistine? Because they knew of this. They knew of that. Right? But here comes the twist. Judges 14 and 4. Who reads? Brother Kevin.
But his father and his mother knew not that it was Yahuwah that he sought an occasion against the Philistines. For at that time the Philistines had dominion over Israel.
See that? So that first move wasn't so much of a lustful desire, but it was the will of the Most High. Y'all see it? Right? A little twist. Make you go like the sister back there did. Make you go, Right? Am I right, sis? All right. So now, Judges 14:4 says that it says that it was our Elohim, that he saw occasions what against the Philistines, not so much Samson. Read up, Brother Kevin.
14:5. Then went Samson down and his father and his mother to Timnah, and came to the vineyards of Timnah. And behold, a young lion roared against him. And the Ruach Yahuwah came mightily upon him, and he rent him as he would have rent a kid. And he had nothing in his hand. But he told not his father or his mother.
He ripped the lion apart like it was a lamb. Just ripped him apart. And that's something. Give me that 7th verse.
He told his father, he told not his father or his mother what he had done.
Okay.
And he went down and talked with the woman, and she pleased Samson well. 8.
That said through conversation. It didn't say it did anything. Read.
And after a time he returned to take her, and he turned aside to see the carcass of the lion. And behold, there was a swarm of bees and honey in the carcass of the lion. And he took thereof in his hands, and went on eating, and came to his father and mother, and he gave them, and they did eat. But he told them not that he had taken the honey out of the carcass of the lion.
Why is that important?
Because he's a Nazarite. He wasn't supposed to touch a dead thing. Unclean.
Unclean thing. And not only did he touch it, he ate from it.
And he gave it to him.
That's the key right there. And he ate from it. Hey, Mom, Dad, we got his honey. And he used it. But look, I don't think he told them, but this word says he didn't tell them where he got it from, right?
Right.
He didn't tell them it came from unclean thing. He just did it. And he willed his will on them to eat an unclean thing. Now, I can't vouch for Samson on that now. Samson messed up. Samson wasn't supposed to be doing that now. Go ahead, my brother. Where you at?
I'm in Judges 14:10.
Judges 14:10, and here we go.
So his father went down unto the woman, and Samson made there a feast, for so used the young man to do.
So he brought in young men for this feast. What?
And it came to pass when they saw him that they brought 30 companions to be with him. And Samson said unto them, I will now put forth a riddle unto you. If ye can certainly declare it me within the 7 days of the feast, and find it out, then I will give you 30 sheets and 30 change of garments.
I don't know what prompted him to do that, but he did it. Read.
But if ye cannot declare it me, then shall you give me 30 sheets and 30 change of garments. And they said unto him, put forth your riddle, that we may hear it.
You know, Samson must have been boasting. He had to have been boasting. You can tell just by the contents of what is here, right? The contents of what's here. Read.
He's also kind of he's kind of antagonizing the Philistines, you know.
Yes, he is.
Because he's going. He's I don't know if that's. I guess that's the Philistines' tradition to do this feast. I don't know if that's the Philistines or the Israelites.
I think that feast was a feast for his marriage. That was when they married people, they did a feast of the marriage, right?
Right, it's a 7-day feast.
Right. So now you think about it, right? He went over to Philistine. The Philistines had Israel in captivity. He went over in there, got one of their women, married her, and had a feast. Invited the young, strong men in there, the young men in, and challenged them. You see that? They didn't like Samson too much behind that. Samson was, you got to order. And then he gave them a riddle. And with that riddle, they told them that they could figure it out. Now he's saying, y'all not even smart enough to get a riddle. What is this riddle? And read.
Judges 14:14. And he said unto them, out of the eater came forth meat, and out of the strong came forth sweetness. And they could not in 3 days expound the riddle. And it came to pass on the 7th day that they said unto Samson's woman, entice your man, that he may declare unto us the riddle, lest we burn you and your father's house with fire. Have ye called us to take that we have? Have you called us to take that we have? Is it not so?
Right. Because they feel like that they were responsible for Samson even being there. It's going to cause them to have lost their garments. Right? Is that not so? Did God not set us up for this? Right? Mm-hmm.
And Samson's woman wept before him and said, You do but hate me and love me not. You have put forth a riddle unto the children of my people, and have not told it me. Mm-hmm. And he said unto her, Behold, I have not told it my father nor my mother. Mm-hmm. And shall I tell it you?
I ain't told my parents about it. Why I tell you why? I ain't known you but a minute. Well, I'm gonna tell you. I ain't told my parents yet. And really, his parents started dealing with him from the beginning. They had a micro type management over him. Right? So he had to be close to his parents. Okay, brother.
17. Mm-hmm. And she wept before him the 7 days while their feast lasted. And it came to pass on the 7th day that he told her, because she lay sore upon him. And she told the riddle to the children of her people. Mm. And the men of the city said unto him on the 7th day before the sun went down, What is sweeter than honey? And what is stronger than a lion? And he said unto them, If ye had not plowed with my heifer, ye had not found out my riddle.
He need just one person. But isn't it funny? Now that happens today too. Where you at?
Like 14, Judges 14 and 19. Read. And the Ruach Yahuwah came upon him, and then he went down to Ashkelon and slew 30 men of them, and took their spoil, and gave change of garments unto them which expounded the riddle. And his anger was kindled, and he went up to his father's house. But Samson's woman was given to his companion, whom he had used as his friend.
You see that? Even though he went back with his part of the thing, first of all, they cheated inside the river. His wife turned on him, and they used her to do this little thing. But not only that, his wife was given to his companion, to his friend. They took his wife and gave her to someone else. Judges 15 and 1, Brother Darren.
15 and 1.
Yes, sir.
But it came to pass within a while after, in the time of the wheat harvest, that Samson visited his wife with a kid. Mm-hmm. And he said, I will go into my wife into the chamber. But her father would not suffer him to go in.
Mm-hmm. And what?
And her father said, I verily thought that thou hast utterly hated her. Therefore I gave her to thy companion. Is not her younger sister fairer than she? Take her, I pray thee, instead of her. And Samson said concerning them, Now shall I be more blameless than the Philistines, though I do them a displeasure. And Samson went and caught 300 foxes, and took firebrands, and turned tail to tail, and put a firebrand in the midst between two tails. And when he had set the brands on fire, he let them go into the standing corn of the Philistines, and burnt up both the shocks and also the standing corn with the vineyards and olives. Mm-hmm. Then the Philistines said, Who has done this? Mm-hmm. And they answered, Samson, the son-in-law of the Timnite, mm-hmm. because he had taken his wife and given her to his companion. And the Philistines came up and burnt her and her father with fire. And what? And Samson said unto them, Though ye have done this, yet will I be avenged of you, and after that I will cease.
But even though he burnt the corn down, did he set them fox on fire? 300 of them. And sent them off and put them into the field. Now, poor little foxes had to suffer this now. I don't know where he got the idea from, but I know the animal rights people wouldn't like that this day. They would take Samson down themselves, and they found out that Samson had tied some animals together, lit fire and ran them down to the cornfield. But even at that, they still went, see, his wife betrayed him, the father betrayed him. Now the wife betrayed him because she didn't want them to set fire to her and her father. Then the father betrayed them for whatever given reason, and he said because he thought that Samson hated her. But the ultimate betrayal was the one that his wife did, trying to keep from being burned. But through their betrayal, they still got burned out. Still got burned out. Based on the betrayal that they did right then. And read the 8th verse.
And he smote them hip and thigh with a great slaughter. And he went down and dwelt in the top of the rock, Edom.
And what?
Then the Philistines went up and pitched in Judah and spread themselves in Lehi. And the men of Judah said, Why are ye come up against us? And they answered, To bind Samson are we come up, to do to him as he hath done to us.
Amen.
Then 3,000 men of Judah went to the top of the rock Edom, and said to Samson, Knowest thou not that the Philistines are rulers over us? What is this that thou hast done unto us? And he said unto them, As they did unto me, so have I done unto them.
So have I did unto them. I've done unto them. Eye for an eye. Read.
And they said unto him, We are come down to bind thee, that we may deliver thee into the hand of the Philistines. And Samson said unto them, Swear unto me that ye will not fall upon me yourselves.
See, because you know what? They could not have tied up. They could not have took control of Samson. They could not have tied him up. That means he's saying that I'm going to give myself a free will. I'm going to freely give myself unto you. Tie me up, but don't you be my judge. Don't you do something to me. And my brethren, don't you do. Right? And what the 13th verse says what?
And they spake unto him, saying,
No,
but we will bind thee fast and deliver thee into their hand. But surely we will not kill thee.
And what?
And they bound him up with 2 new cords and brought him up from the rock.
3,000 men. It took 3,000 men to go get him. That's about like they showing that extra force when the police come up. They bring like 5, 10 cars up. One man, one brother. Shotgun up front. Read.
And when he came up
they got all the guns. What could happen, Samson? Go ahead.
And when 14, and when he came up unto Lehi,
when he came up to Lehi,
the Philistines shouted against him. And the Spirit of the Most High came mightily upon him. And the cords that were upon his arms became as flax that was burnt with fire. And his bands loosed from off his hands.
That's Ruach song. Keep rolling.
And he found a new jawbone of an ass.
Got a brand new one. Got a brand new jawbone. Brand new jawbone. Come on. And what?
And put forth his hand.
And put forth his hand.
And took it.
And took it.
And slew 1,000 men therewith.
And what?
And Samson said, With the jawbone of an ass, heaps upon heaps, with the jaw of an ass have I slain 1,000 men.
He said, with a jawbone of an ass, Samson killed heaps and piles of men. That was saying they heaped up. Heaps and heaps. And read.
And it came to pass, when he had made an end of speaking, that he cast away the jawbone out of his hand, and called that place Ramathlehi.
And read.
And he was athirst.
And
called on the Most High, and said, Thou hast given this great deliverance into the hand of thy servant, and now shall I die for thirst, and fall into the hand of the uncircumcised. But our Elohim clave an hollow place that was in the jaw, and there came water thereof. And when he had drunk, his spirit came again, and he revived. Wherefore he called the name thereof En-Hakkore, which is in Lehi unto this day. And he judged Israel in the days of the Philistines 20 years.
So look at this. Just real quick. Okay, so from the beginning when I read that, how he, what did the Most High actually do to quench the thirst of Samson?
Basically put, kind of made like a, almost like a little bowl type situation inside the jawbone so he could put water in it. That was the jawbone of the
Okay. Yeah. Well, because, I just know that, and I came to a conclusion as well, hey, the Most High just prepared a place, to drink, to soothe, Samson's thirst, right? I said a place, right? But my first thought was that, how you had that little duck in your mouth that if you say the wrong thing, it'll spit water out. I thought about that one first. I said, he just, cause the water to flow from the So what now? Okay. Right. So therefore,
He saw a comedian too. He told him, "Oh, how you gave me this victory, now you're gonna let me die of thirst."
Right. Little sarcasm, man. I done killed all 3,000 men. Right. Oh my God, I was 6 guys one time, man. I was so tired. I was tired. I was a young man. I was like 25. But I was tired, boy. I was still man when I finished. But anyway, we gonna keep it moving. Brother Rob, 16:1. Judges 16:1. Judges 16:1.
All right, 16:1.
That's something we can dwell on a little bit. Think about that. You working on it, brother? Okay. All right. Judges 16:1. You might be. Eric, that might work. Bring it up, brother. All right, y'all, we in the stretch now. We in the stretch. What time is it? Oh, we doing really good. Y'all have a question back there? Yes, ma'am.
It seems like Samson wasn't, even though he has the Nazarite vow on him,
Right.
it seems like he's not fully dedicated to focus
Right, he's not.
on the Most High. It's like he's driven by the woman's emotions. When something goes wrong, it's like he's reacting based on what he didn't get versus what he's supposed to do.
Right. That's true. That's true. Because if he was really, how would you say it? If he was really tied into the Nazareth vow, he would not even thought of getting the honey out of the lion's carcass. He wouldn't even thought of that. And then plus, there was several other things like, I don't know if it's here yet. We ain't got to that spot yet, but we're gonna get there. I won't say that. But some other things that he's gonna do that's just not becoming of a Nazareth,
He probably too think like he was their only child. He probably would be spoiled.
Yeah, and definitely he was spoiled. And then you got to think about the attention that his mother and father put upon him. They definitely had great focus.
But not just that. I mean, even the fact that Judah brought up 3,000 men. They knew who he was and what he could do. He knew that he newborn at that time. He'd been using his power throughout. They knew who Samson was.
Right. They knew he was something to be reckoned with.
Right.
It just according to how they approached him for what they was gonna get.
Right.
And if he did get away, and he did kill 1,000, and he was pretty tired. Then maybe he went out by the time to get to 3,000. But I don't know. But we still say that as him as an individual, did he actually carry himself? It's just a little different. He carried himself different from any other judge we've read about. Didn't he? He carried himself differently from any other judge that we've read about. Very differently. And it seemed like there's some things he's done that he just did them out of emotion. The man took his wife from him. He got mad.
It's almost like a personal crusade. It wasn't necessarily about the nation. It was more personal.
Yeah. And then the woman, even at that, the wife betrayed him. And he got emotional, and just started wrecking up stuff. Was that a part of? I don't know. That's why when we go back to the beginning, it says that he was going to begin, right, to deliver Israel from the Philistines. He didn't completely do it. It said he was going to begin to do it, right?
Yeah, it's almost like he was making it more. All right, so I'm kind of conjecturing here because I don't really know, but it was almost like Israel was, kind of accepted their positions in captivity.
Right.
And he, the Most High put a spirit in him to stir things up, to make things uncomfortable between Israel and the Philistines.
Because they was content.
Right.
Anytime Judah, the lead tribe, go up to him and ask him, why are you trying to mess this good thing up we got? Basically. Right. Everything is peacetime. We've accepted that we under these guys. Yeah, we're under their rulership. We've accepted. Why are you trying to ruffle things up? Why are you always messing with the Philistines? Why you tearing these stuff up, killing people? Taking their women and just agitating them. Why you calm down? Look, brother, for everybody, we gotta take you in, man. And we're gonna mess up all of it.
And that's almost like, really, those other times before the Most High delivered them, there was so much pressure that was put on Israel that as a nation we cried out.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when the delivery. That's when he delivered us. That's when he was delivered.
And the nation wasn't crying out; they was content.
Right.
At this hour, they were content.
They content in this hour.
Well, they are. They are very content. Some of them. I'm not.
Yeah, it's like people they know the background a lot of times of the holidays and stuff like that. But it's like, I don't work on no festivals,
Right.
They work, they have a Christmas party, people buying each other gifts, and I know all this stuff, Katie. I get it.
I'm consciously doing it.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it. I'm not violating anything. I'm making a
I gotta
conscious
work
decision.
with these people. I gotta, live around these people. I gotta have relationships with these people. So because of that, I don't wanna cause no friction or so I'm just gonna go ahead.
They don't want to be that one. That one person. They don't want to be that one person. That
God knows my heart.
Yeah. And then there was something about this thing. I see they got a lot of people now, Israelites, coming on TV singing "Away in the Manger," like he really was born on the 25th. They actually are teaching these people inside, multiple people at one time, that that's his actual birthday. And then if you read, it tells them that that's a pagan holiday, right? But they still attaches him to a pagan holiday. It don't make sense. They say they got utmost respect, they believe he's who he is, they have faith in him, but they're attaching to something evil. Go figure, right? Go figure. Where you at, brother? You at 5? Where you at? I'm sorry. 16 and 1. All right, my brother.
Then went Samson to God and saw there an harlot.
He saw a harlot.
And went in into her.
And he slept with her.
And it was told that the Gazacites, saying, Samson is come hit her.
Right, hit her.
Herod.
They said, well, now Samson is no longer in, he's not in Philistine country.
So you got a reputation.
Yeah. He's hanging out over here now. Go ahead.
And they compassed him in.
And they compassed him in.
And they wait for him all night in the gate of the city.
So what they did was, once he got in, they boxed him in. They waited for him to come out, right? And they waited for him all night at the gate of the city. And what?
And were quiet all night.
And he said, and were quiet all night, saying what?
Saying, in the morning, when it is day, we shall kill him.
They had already laid to kill him. Already laid to kill him. Brother Reggie, can you give me 1 Corinthians 6 and 16? So we realize now, he came in and he identified this woman as being a harlot. And he laid with this harlot, right? Isn't that something? So is that acting like somebody that you would think would be a Nazarite? It's kind of like he's out of content, don't it? You know, some people call him reckless, wouldn't you? That guy right there, man.
Justifying his actions to himself.
Right. He can't, what did they deem himself guiltless? He just go on and do what he wants to do. What you got there in 1 Corinthians 6 and 16, Brother Red?
6 and 16.
Uh-huh.
What? Know ye not that he which is joined to an harlot is one body?
For what?
For two, saith he, shall be one flesh.
He joined himself to that harlot. He did, didn't he? Brother Robert, give us that third verse.
Third verse reads, and Samson lay till midnight.
He lay with all into midnight.
And arose at midnight.
He rose up at midnight.
And took the doors of the gate of the city.
He just took the doors off the gate. Now they waiting for him and everything. Samson, he just antagonizing people. He's just a tyrant, you know. He took the gates off the city. Like, you know, he to a point where he said, man, can't none of you guys deal with me, man. I come here to do what I want to do and I roll out. You know what I mean? You can lay wait you want to. What good is that going to do? You might well go home and eat, man, and enjoy your family. You do what you do, I do what I do. But go ahead and read, my brother.
And the two posts.
He not only didn't take the gate, he took the pole that was connected to the gate and what?
And went away with them.
He took them with him.
Bar and all.
He took the bar and all. He took every bit of the gate. Bar, gate. Everything. Can you imagine his brother walking down the street?
That's the gate to the
What is
city.
it? Man, he took the gate to the
That's
city.
the closet door. You know what I'm saying?
The gates in the city is better than having the key to the city. I'm telling you. I got the gate. I don't need the keys. And what?
And put them upon his shoulders.
And did what?
And carried them up to the top of the hill that is before Hebron.
Uh-huh.
And it came to pass afterward.
And it came to pass afterward?
That he loved a woman in the valley of Surah,
Uh-huh.
whose name was Delilah.
He was all over the place. He was all over the place. So now, he was doing whatever he desired to do, right? Wow. Brother Darren, give me a James 1 and 14. Stay put, Rob. James 1 and 14. See, now he's getting a little bit, he's getting a little reckless.
James 1, verse 14.
James 1 and 14.
But every man is tempted
Every man is tempted
when he is drawn away of his own lust,
drawn away of his own lust.
enticed.
They kept saying that he was enticed by women. They kept saying that they enticed him, didn't they? And now, drawn away from what?
When you think about it, he didn't have a wife.
Yeah, that ain't getting it right.
Yeah, if he had that first.
Even if he had got one amongst the brothers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That would have held him down a little bit, I think. Because then they've been of one mind. One body, one covenant.
You think I have all this energy?
Yeah.
You don't have no life. Okay, no.
Yeah, he did have a lot of been drawn away from the Nazareth vow. The vow of that, yes, ma'am. 1 Corinthians what? 7, 8 through 9. Who want that? You got it?
In 1 Corinthians 7.
Verse 8 and 9. You still hold your spot, Brother Robert?
I got
You got it? Okay, hold it.
1 Corinthians. 1 Corinthians, chapter 7. Chapter 7, verse 7.
8 and 9.
8, 9. I say therefore to the unmarried and widows, it is good for them if they abide, even as I. But if they cannot contain, let them marry. For it is better to marry than to burn.
And they burn his eyes out. But they talking about a different burn. They talking about a different burn. Right. Maybe get a wife and a couple concubines and all right. But Samson, boy, that boy was something. Boy, he not unclean, so that boy had an adrenaline. Going strong. Brother Robert, you got it? Where we at?
We on 16 and 5.
16 and 5 and read.
And the lords of the Philistine came up unto her and said unto her, entice him.
Once again, y'all see that? You only can be enticed by something that you have an interest in, something that you lust for. You can't entice me with a piece of dung. You know, you bring it with the noodles. No, man, I don't want that. You know what I mean? You know. But they bring your pie up there. Hey, man, you want this pie? Hey, man, yeah, please, cut me a piece. Be kind, yeah, cut it. Right, you know? And read, brother.
And see wherein his great strength lies.
So the Philistines, they went to Delilah. And they told Delilah to what? To entice him and see where his great strength lies. What?
And by what means we may prevail
Against him.
Against him. That we may bind him to afflict him. And we will give you every one of us 1,100 pieces of silver.
Every one of them gonna give her 1,100. She's gonna be a rich woman. And read that 6th verse.
And Delilah said to Samson, tell me, I pray you, wherein your great strength lies, and wherewith you might be bound to afflict you. And Samson said unto her,
what?
If they bind me with 7 green whips that were never dry, then shall I be weak, and be as another man.
Then
the lords of the Philistines brought up to her 7 green whips which had not been dried, and she bound him with them. Now there were men lying in wait, abiding with her in the chamber.
Inside the chamber that he was in there with her wife, hiding inside the room. What?
And she said unto him, the Philistine be upon you, Samson, and he broke the whips as upon you, Samson, and he broke the whips as a thread of tow is broken when it is touches the fire. So his strength was not known.
So the question for me is, what is going on with Samson? He must be inkling for it, because when you found out that you told this woman what it took to bound you, and you wake up and you bound with that, isn't that something? I mean, what was so important about you knowing about how to make me weak?
Right.
You know what I mean?
You should have been suspicious when she kept dogging about that.
Yeah, he should have been. I don't understand what happened with him. Yeah, I guess I do understand. He was drawn by something else too.
Yeah, I think it was more than less because he didn't have any fear. He was like, he ain't feel threatened by anything.
Right, exactly.
I think that's what it was. He was like, hey, whatever, it don't matter. They can't fade me.
Well, see, on that particular one, he lied to the woman.
Right.
So he knew that wouldn't do anything to him. But I understand that he had no worry then, because that wasn't what it was. But still, even at that, when he woke up and found those pieces that was in place, that he told her that would do it, but he found that, he should have cast doubt, what that lady name, the Delilah out on head first.
And not just that, because, I mean, it ain't like she didn't know. Obviously, she did it. Then she said, the Philistines be upon you.
Right.
So she knew that the dudes was... So I mean, it was evident to him that she set the whole thing up.
He should have known she'd been set up. Especially, brother, where you at now? You on that 10th verse, right? Read that 10th verse.
And Delilah said unto Samson, Behold, you have mocked me.
So then she gonna say, you mocked me. I mocked you, but you tried to get me captive. You tried to take my strength, right? Read. I begged to be killed. And what?
And told me lies.
And told me lies. What?
Now tell me, I pray you, wherewith you might be bound.
You see that? And she still wants to know. Yeah, then he should, now, nowadays, brother would have got home up out of there. But read that, now listen. Y'all do know that the Philistines they like, I think they're African people, right? Hamites. Y'all do know that, right? The Philistines are Hamites. I know we say Philistines, we think that they some other people, but the Philistines were Hamites. So it wasn't that he was enticed by a lighter color or something different or something. The Hamites to me was, around here, they're a little bit different from a regular Israelite woman. They got some features that's just hard on the eye. How can we be enticed? That woman, and the girl showed their face because she tempted him. And when she said that to him, he just jumped out and broke out of it. But if she had told him, he was like, he couldn't get loose. And then it came out, what do we have here? Samson. You the same tell the guys to jump on, where jump on that now? They've been up on him then. But see, they never showed their face. And she was doing all the tests. After this one right here, Samson should have been on top of it, right? But Brother Rob, what happened in 13?
And Delilah said unto Samson, Hitherto, you have mocked me.
He said, hit her too. Don't hit me, don't hit me. Hit her too. No, hitherto. What? Go ahead.
You have mocked me.
That's what it said, Rob. That's what it said. It said hit her too. That's what the word said. You said it. Brother Kevin, what is that word? Break it down simple. Break it down simple. What did it say? You would say hit her too?
What's wrong with him, man?
It's been a long day, guys. Okay. So, hitherto.
You have mocked me and told me lies.
Should you mock me and told me lies?
Tell me wherewith you might be bound. And he said unto her,
what?
And you weave the 7 locks of my head with the web.
He came messed up.
And she fastened it with the pin, and said unto him, The Philistines be upon you, Samson, and be awoke of this sleep, and went away with the pin of the beam, and with the web. And she said unto him, How can you say, I love you, when your heart is not with me? You have mocked me these 3 times, and have not told me wherein you have great strength lies. And it came to pass, when she pressed him daily with her words, and urged him, so that his soul was vexed unto death, that he told her all his heart, and said unto her, There has not come a razor upon my head, for I have been a Nazarene come a razor, for I am a Nazarene unto Elohim from my mother's womb. If I be shaven, then my strength will go from me, and I shall become weak, and be like any other man. And when Delilah saw that he had told her all his heart, she sent and called for the lords of the Philistines, saying, Come up to this once, for he has showed me all of his heart. Then the lords of the Philistines came up unto her, and brought money into their hand. and she made him sleep upon her knees.
How did she do that? Go ahead.
And she called for a man, and she caused him to shave off the 7 locks of his head. And she began to afflict him, and his strength went from him. And he said,
and she said,
the Philistine be upon you, Samson. And he awoke up out of his sleep and said, I will go out as another time before and shake myself. And he knew not Yahweh was departed from him.
You see that? But now, he was in a real deep sleep.
Yeah, all the time.
But a man came in there and cut his hair. But I don't know what she put him to sleep. But he went to sleep with her head on her lap.
And also, it's the same thing that the first woman that was going to be his wife, who kept on jabbing in his ear, and he couldn't take it anymore. He was like, fine, hey, here's the answer to the riddle.
Right.
It's the same thing again. It's like a weakness.
He cracked under pressure.
Yeah.
He kept doing it, but then I don't know, maybe it was to just satisfy her. They try to intrigue trust, you know, they're saying, well, you don't trust me, you know, type of thing, you know. You can be in a relationship today, and the moment that you don't trust me, and her saying you don't trust me, and this and that, and this and that, this and that, a lot of guys are like, okay. Right? And then before you know it, bank account empty.
Yeah.
Heartbroken. Furniture gone. Everything got anything you got left of the job. Everything you want to get married. You gotta get the car gone. Everything.
Think about the Nathan and Jonathan and David, you know, the friendship and stuff like that. It don't appear like Sam, like he had a friend.
But he had one friend and they gave his wife to her, him. They had a friend and they gave his wife to that friend. No, that wasn't no friend. That was somebody waiting about just for the occasion to make something happen.
That was somebody you could say used him as a friend.
But with a man, now he was the only natural. He was the only person that they knew at that time with the natural mouth. So I guess it would be hard for him to identify with a friend or with somebody that he could actually trust in and talk to. Because there had been 2 of them, he might have survived a little bit better, you know. But and then he had nobody really tell his deepest secret to him. One of him as well as his father, I guess. But other people knew he had strength and everything, but there was nobody else like him. You know, so I don't know, maybe he just didn't have anybody he could trust in. But that could be a good reason why he reacted the way he did. But then he still went home and told his mom and father. I mean, if he wanted to tell them, they already knew. Right, but we need to understand that, that Samson was actually going through something. He actually was going through. And she broke him.
I don't think it was he had some reckless abandonment, and even like that first statement from him when he talked to his parents, like, go get that woman for me.
Right.
This whole reckless abandonment thing, even though that particular thing was of the Spirit of the Most High,
right?
That reckless abandon from that statement, the way he approached his parents, to me says that the reckless abandon wasn't new.
So you think it's a sense of arrogance?
Arrogance, entitlement.
Nobody greater than me.
He had a calling since his birth from an angel. So he knew all of this stuff. Other people knew it too. He had a reputation, and the reputation grew as he got older. So I mean, I don't think it was him confiding in these women. I mean, because both of them basically wore him out by talking. You know what I'm saying? Which we guys kind of know how that feels.
Right, we know.
What I'm saying? So I mean, but this kind of that happened with his
friend.
Don't
talk too loud. But yeah,
happened with his first wife, and the same thing. Like she kept on saying it to him, and it wore him down. So I think it was more so to get her to stop. Less maybe feeling sorry a little bit, but also getting her to stop in both situations.
Yeah, and probably even at that point, he was okay. What if I go ahead and tell her anyway? If I go ahead and tell her anyway, right, would that make a difference in my life? Right. I'm undefeated. Right. I slew 1,000 men. would that make a difference in my life even if I told her what it is? Who gonna be close? Who gonna be great enough to get close enough to me to cut my locks? Right? It's like if you tell somebody, where's my beard? You know, who gonna be able to shave this beard off? You gotta kill me before you get the beard. Who's gonna be able to do this? You see what I mean? So it's a great possibility that he was just sure of himself. You know? So yeah, I mean it's just a great strong possibility. But Samson's still kind of like, I think I kind of,
I'm kind of thinking there's a weakness in women because that's the only person he's going to be sleeping with. He ain't sleeping with a man, but he's going to sleep with a woman. And that's who he chose to entrust.
Right.
So I'm thinking vulnerability, weakness is normal. I mean, I don't know. That's what I'm thinking.
I don't know about told anybody that I was sleeping around. You know, with my hair.
Exactly.
No, I told everybody I knew I was going to sleep around.
Right, exactly.
You know, you tell her, that's it.
I think you felt he was in love with you.
You think he has
Yeah,
to?
she said you don't love him.
Well, you're right, and then plus, you can only be enticed by your own desire. So he had to have a desire for her in order for her to entice him and to bring him out of his element. You know, so yes, I would say that. Where we at, brother? Who was it, Robert?
21.
21, okay, 21.
But the Philistines took him and put him out his eyes.
And they put his eye, they took his sight away and what?
And brought him down to Gaza. And bound him with fetters of brass. And he did grind in the prison house.
But you know, when Israel went into bondage, when he went into slavery, they put feathers around their necks. They do that work on Israel. Go ahead.
Howbeit the hair on his head began to grow again after he was shaven.
They say his hair did start back to grow after he was shaven. What?
Then the Lord of the Philistines gathered them together for to offer a great sacrifice unto Dagon their God, and to rejoice. For they said, our God has delivered Samson our enemy into our hand. And when the people saw him, they praised their God. For they said, our God has delivered into our hands our enemy, and the destroyer of our country, which slew many of us. And it came to pass, when their hearts were merry, that they said, call for Samson, that he might make us sport. And they called
for Samson that he may do what?
Make us sport.
Y'all get the word sport? Right. So you play sports, right? You know that they did this in like some type of auditorium type thing. They had seats all the way around it. Kind of looked like RFK Stadium. Or the stadium down there in FedEx, or the one in Buffalo, New York, or the one in New York. I mean, I got that. The one in Texas, Urban Stadium, and all places. But I'm saying that to say, right, that just as they made sport of men back then, they make sport of man today. But this thing is, man is not blinded by their eyesight. They're blinded within their mind. Because what they get them with. They get them with, check it out. When these boys get these contracts, the first thing they do is they send the women out. They send the women out. Just pay attention. Boy ain't been out of college 10 minutes and you see him inside the book. Women all around him. Everywhere. Then he mess around and hurt himself. They all apart. But I'm saying it to say that, you know, there's nothing changed under the sun. But they made sport of him. Where you at there, brother? That was in 25. And they called for Samson.
And they called for Samson out of the prison house.
And they called him out of the prison house where he'd been held, and what?
And he made them sport.
And he made them sport.
And they set him between the pillars.
But see, he said, and they set him between the pillars. Read.
And Samson said unto the lad that held him by the hand.
Wait a minute. Inside the movie, didn't they have Delilah to lead him up there? Because she got all upset because they was antagonizing him out there and had midgets running around, tickling and doing different things to him. And then she got upset and she came out there and hit him with a whip, and he grabbed the whip and she laid him up there between the pedals. Y'all saw that in the movie?
No.
Yeah, that's where they did it, but it wasn't true. That's not the way it happened. It said, and the lad that led him by the hand. Right? He told his dad to suffer me what?
Suffer me that I may fill the pillars whereupon the house stands, that I may lean upon them.
So he said, just put me between the pillars. Let me get my hands on them so I can lean upon them. Give me that 27th verse.
Now the house was full of men and women. And all the lords of the Philistines were there.
And what?
And there were upon the roof about 3,000 men and women that beheld while Samson made sport.
So the same thing, the auditorium, they said they was up there, right? They was on the roof. It's like the same thing like the auditoriums out today. It's just like the football game and the football auditorium. They had people sitting down and they had like little porch that come out over, they sit on top of that. And above that on the upper side, it's the same thing. It's nothing new under the sun. They just built it with a different structure. Read.
And Samson called unto Yahweh and said, O Adonai Yahweh, remember me?
Well, wait a minute. Remember back before then? It said, and his hair began to grow back. So that was one of the reasons why they said, let's get rid of his eyes. They knew their hair was going to grow back. Read.
And said, O Adonai Yahweh, remember me? I pray you, and strengthen me. I pray you only this once, O Elohim, that I may be at once avenged of the Philistines for my 2 eyes.
He just wanted to be, he wanted revenge for them blind him. They blind him. Give me that brother Rex, give me that 29th verse.
And Samson, correction. Verse 29.
Yes, sir.
And Samson took hold of the 2 middle pillars.
And Samson took hold of the 2 middle pillars.
On which the house stood.
And these pillars held up the house. What?
And on which it was borne up. On which it was borne up.
And that means that everything that was built on top was held by those pillars. And what?
Of the one with his right hand. And of the other with his left.
Those were there that was holding all the people up in there that were making mockery of him. But keep reading.
And Samson said,
what did he say?
Let me die with the Philistines.
He said, let me die with the Philistines. What?
And he bowed himself with all his might. And the house fell upon the lords. And upon all the people that were therein. So the dead which he slew in his death were more than they which he slew in his life.
He killed 1,000 in his life at one time, but in his death he did what? More, they said.
Yep, he slew more.
What? And what?
Then his brethren and all the house of his father came down and took him and brought him up and buried him between Zorah and Eshtaol in the burying place of Manoah, his father. And he judged Israel 20 years.
So from the time of his judgment, that he began to judge Israel, he judged them for 20 years. That was our final judge. The final judge of Israel, which was Samson. A few controversies, a few truths, a few obedience, a few disobedience. But that was the final judge of Israel. Right there. I want to say thank you for your time. Anybody have anything you want to add to?
I was trying to find, I stepped out for a second, but I was trying to find the part. I'm sure went through it. I have to find it, but I think after he was blind, he started to come to himself. You know what I'm saying? I basically realized, what he had done, and realized, who Yah was.
Yes.
And, kind of put all that other stuff behind him and kind of focused on what the actual goal was, which was against the Philistines.
But you see what happened? And just as to be a co-person to mix this stuff up along with my brother here, when he was at his top, how many times did he pray to the Most High that we saw? How many times did he read to the Most High? I mean, did he really approach the Most High? He received he received to be the Nazarene, or to be the man of a Nazareth. He received that. He lived the life, but he had a lot of other things involved in there. He was high as a hog. He continued. I mean, I'm just saying, couldn't nobody touch him. He was untouchable until he got to his weakest moment. His weakest spot was when man was able to do something to him that they had never been able to do before. It's the same hour. That's what happens to Israel. They get up, and as long as they're doing fine, they won't even seek the Father. But when they hit that rock bottom and hit that hard spot, they remember who he is. Then his name makes a difference. But before, oh man, just pray to God. It don't matter. God is God. But when something happens really, really bad to them, oh yeah, his name make a difference. Because they want to make sure the right God, or the right Elohim, get the message they're trying to get to them, but they need help. And they want it right now, and they want it to be as sufficient as possible. So when Israel falls, then they know what it takes to get them back up. But as long as they up,
yeah, right high and mighty, man.
Bang.
And it says it right there in 28. And Samson, well, this is basically after he'd been made, made to basically do that slave work, grinding, and they're just basically joking about him, making sport of him. And in 28, and Samson called unto El. So that's what it is when he calls. Again, like you're saying, things get so bad. We're okay when things are okay. We're not really bothered so much.
We good.
Then that pressure comes, which is again, it's almost like a microcosm of what's happened to Israel all throughout. We have
the same cycle we're talking about.
Right.
The same cycle.
And it just happened actually within Samson's life.
Yes.
And then so he basically got brought low. He was the head. He became the tail. The tail became the head. And that's when he again called him to Yahuwah. So, I mean, that comes back to what we're supposed to do when it's all said and well, time really. But the same thing.
Of understanding when it comes down to the covenant of the Most High. That's what that is. We cannot lean on our own understanding. It's a lean not upon your own understanding. And then we got to understand too. It said when there was no judges in Israel, it said no kings in Israel. This said no judges. Go to that. That's in 17, right? Real quick, it's going to hit that real quick in 17. Real quick, it's going to be there. It's there. Judges 17, you right here. It's going to say something about when there was no judges in Israel. It was about what, like 17?
Yeah, it's a 25.
No, it's a 25. Okay, read that for me real quick, brother.
That's 21 and 25.
Okay.
In those days, there was no king in Israel. Every man did that which was right in his own eyes.
Same now. Right? Every man is doing what his own eyes, still seeking the Most High. And then when they get in trouble, then they seek him. I want to say thank you for your time. Thank all of you brothers for your participation. God, thank you guys for your time and your participation also. I want to say may the Most High be with each and every one of you. And once again, shalom.